Psalm 40. This is a psalm of personal experience that develops into something more. I don't have time to go through all of it, but here we're told by the superscription that this is one of the ones written by David himself. I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see and fear the Lord and put their trust in him. We don't know what this miry bog is, what this slimy pit is. It was obviously something so awful in his experience that he felt the way you do in a miry bog, in a slimy pit. That is, desperate, unable to get out, sliding into oblivion, sucked down. And God pulled him out. And much of the rest of the psalm talks about how he will respond to that by devoting himself to the living God. How he must give testimony to this in the community of God's people. And then in the last part of the psalm, he openly acknowledges that just because he's been through this sort of experience doesn't mean that he won't be through other bleak experiences. And just because you've been through a divorce doesn't mean that you're therefore going to be spared cancer. Just because you've had cancer doesn't mean that you won't lose your spouse. Just because you've had a kid go off the rails doesn't mean that you won't be in a car accident. Life in this fallen and broken world brings all kinds of heartaches and defeats and discouragements. And he gives thanks to God for God's help and release in this one. And then he looks to the future and says, there's so many other things, Lord God, where I'm going to need your help.